Poor Steve Erceg. What's up, boys? UFC Mexico has just concluded. Overall, it was a decent card. I went 8-4 on this card, I think. So my predictions were pretty good. And yeah, man, make sure to subscribe though, because we're trying to hit 800 subscribers by the end of the year. It would mean a lot. But let's recap about this card and let's talk about Steve Erceg, because the UFC just straight up did him dirty. Obviously, we started off the card with Marquel Medeiros versus Austin Hubbard. Marquel Medeiros got the decision. It was a really close fight. I predicted Austin Hubbard to win. Got that one wrong. Then, the second fight of the night, we had Jamal Emmers taking on Gabriel Miranda. Jamal Emmers won that by first round TKO. I got that one wrong. So, overall, I was 0-2. The first two fights of the card. But then Lupi Godinez got the win over Julia Polostri, in which was actually one of the greatest women's MMA fights that I've ever seen. You know, that third round between Lupi Godinez and Julia Polostri, that was actually crazy. Christian Rodriguez lost to Mel Costa, which I did predict. Jose Medina, that fraud, I don't know why he's in the UFC, dude. He lost on the Contender Series and we gave him a UFC contract. What the heck? But Ateba Gutierrez, this kid is actually really good, dude. This guy's on some Francis Ngannou arc. Insane physique from Cameroon. Knockout power. This kid, he'll be ranked one day. I can assure you that. Then, obviously, like I said earlier, Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer did get canceled, so the main card was a little bit iffy. Ronaldo Rodriguez did lose to Kevin Borjas, man. Oh, this is really embarrassing, man. I said Ronaldo Rodriguez was one of the hype trains you need to hop on, to look out for. And he got completely fraud checked versus Kevin Borjas. And honestly, I was biased. Ronaldo Rodriguez isn't good at all. He is not UFC worthy, dude. He needs new coaches. He needs to completely regroup. His striking sucks. I'm disappointed by Ronaldo Rodriguez, dude. Kevin Borjas won nicely. David Martinez, the surgeon, got the decision. Sorry, not the decision. The first round knockout over Simon Oliveira. Beautiful knee. Sat down Simon Oliveira. Raul Rosas Jr. got the decision over Vince Morales. I'm sorry for being hard on my Mexican fighters, but come on, Raul Rosas Jr. You've been in the UFC for a while. You had 5 fights before this in the UFC. You need to be doing better against someone like Vince Morales. This was supposed to be a performance where you completely outclassed Vince Morales, and you know, for a lot of the fight you did that, but then two times you got caught in a pretty nice submission by Vince Morales, and you almost got finished twice from the same submission. So I'm not happy with that, dude. He has to be more careful. This guy gives his neck away so easy. Raul Rosas Jr. Obviously, his neck is so easy to take. You know, one bad guillotine attempt, and it's over him. Moving on to the featured fight of the night: Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. This was originally supposed to be the featured fight on the prelims, but you know, it got moved up to the featured fight of the main card. Edgar Chairez got it done, round 1 submission. I got this fight horribly wrong, dude. I predicted CJ Vergara, and it was a really one-sided fight. Edgar Chairez got it done with ease, dude. He looked a lot better overall. And yeah, man, the co-main event of the night. Let me tell you something, brother. Manuel Torres is actually insane, dude. Ignacio Bahamondes was a horrible matchup for him. Obviously, he lost that. But Drew Dober, brother. Drew Dober didn't even know the fight was over, dude. This guy was still trying to fight Manuel Torres. Absolutely insane knockout, dude. He just took so many shots to the side of the head. Mike Beltran probably should have stopped that a lot sooner, dude. I don't know what he was doing. And yeah, man, Manuel Torres, you need to watch out for this guy. This guy is dangerous, and every single one of his fights in the UFC has ended in the first round. Watch out for this guy. Moving on to the main event: Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. You know, Steve Erceg is good. I think Steve Erceg is really good, and it sucks that we gave him someone like Brandon Moreno, because he took a round off Brandon Moreno. It was a really close fight. Like the second and third round, they were really close rounds. It could have gone either way. But Brandon Moreno edged him. I feel like they broke his hand. He wasn't being as active as he was in the first round than he was in the second and third. He kind of slowed down, and he wasn't gassed, so it was really weirded out. But Brandon Moreno looked good, dude. Give him Pantoja at UFC 320. Come on, boy. I don't care if he's lost to him 3 times. Just book the fight at 320. Have Pantoja wait out until 320. But, you know, Brandon Moreno looked good in this fight. He had some good leaping right hooks, some good overhands. I think he should have took this to the ground a lot more, because Steve Erceg doesn't have that good of a ground game. And yeah, man, decent fight. Sucks that Steve Erceg was done dirty. Let's talk about that. Steve Erceg had 3 fights in the UFC. He knocked out Matt Schnell. Everybody knocks out Matt Schnell, brother, and he got a title shot. He got a title shot against Alessandro Pantoja. He lost. Then just 3 pay-per-views later, he fought one of the hardest hitters in the division, Kai Kara France. He lost by knockout. And then he got Brandon Moreno, 2-time flyweight champion. I don't know what the UFC's doing matchmaking this guy. You know, I will say that Steve Erceg's chin looked better than I thought it would, because after coming off a horrible KO loss like he did to Kai Kara-France, he was able to take a lot of shots from Brandon Moreno, so that's pretty good. His chin's not cracked, but obviously he still is on a 3-fight losing skid. So today, we're going to be talking about UFC fighters who just got fast-tracked and failed, dude. You know, there's examples of UFC fighters who have got fast-tracked and won titles, like Sean O'Malley, like Alex Pereira. Now, maybe I'll make a video about that in coming weeks, but let's talk about UFC fighters who got fast-tracked and failed, like Steve Erceg. Let's start off with him. I just talked about him, actually, but, you know, poor guy had 3 fights in the UFC, and he's gotten slandered, thrown to the wolves in his last 3 fights. This guy, give him an Asu Omabayev. Give him an easy fight next, please. I'm sorry. I feel bad for Steve Erceg. We're doing this man dirty. The next fighter who did get fast-tracked, it's going to be Manny Moreno, brother. This guy was on an insane run at lightweight, dude. I think he was on like a 4-fight winning streak at lightweight. And then, obviously, we gave him a title shot. You know, I understand that it was short notice. I understand it was a day's notice. But now his hype is so gone, dude. Renato Moicano's career is done now because of a stupid late notice fight that he shouldn't have took, if I'm being honest. Because now all of his hype is done. I know it's pretty much impossible to not take a title shot. But still, dude, his hype's done now. Like, one more loss and this guy's going to the GFL, buddy. The next fighter who I do have that did get fast-tracked was actually an opponent of Manny Moreno, Benoit Saint Denis. BSD got horribly fraud-checked, dude. I feel bad for this guy because we gave this guy Dustin the Diamond Poirier, you know, arguably one of the greatest fighters to never win a trophy in history, and he was coming off a win against Matt Favola. You know, that's not a shot towards Matt Favola, but Matt Favola is Matt Favola. He's not that good. This guy, oh my gosh. I feel bad because Benoit Saint Denis could have been something good, you know, if he slowly built this guy up. But we gave him Dustin Poirier. And then we gave him Manny Moreno, which is understandable. That's a fair bounce back fight. He lost that fight. And now he's life or death. BSD is cooked in his next fight. Whoever he faces, it's going to be a hard matchup, and he has to win, or else he's going to be on a 3-fight losing skid like Steve Erceg, dude. Moving on, though, another fighter who got fast-tracked and failed, kind of fast-tracked this time, Umar Nurmagomedov. Obviously, this guy beat, who'd he beat, dude? Corey Sandhagen, only 1 win in the top 10 rankings, and he got a title shot against Merab Dvalishvili, who is the bantamweight GOAT. So, a little bit of a fast-track, dude. If he didn't have Nurmagomedov as his last name, let's be real, guys, he would not have got a title shot. I think he beat Rayoni Barcelos by knockout. Then he got Corey Sandhagen. And Merab embarrassed him, guys. Let's be honest. Merab humbled this guy. Moving on to the next fighter who did get fast-tracked, Sharabullet Magomedov. You know, this guy, he was a cool fighter, dude, but he's blind in one eye, dude. He's blind in one eye, dude. What do you want him to do? He's paralyzed. I forgot who this guy beat. He beat some random bum at UFC Saudi Arabia, I think, and then we gave him MVP, probably the greatest MMA striker of all time. He got pieced up, and yeah, man, it's over, because MVP is the natural welterweight. He moved up to middleweight just to kill a prospect, and he's going back down to welterweight. We got nothing from this fight, dude, and we lost a prospect because of MVP just wanting to get a win. Horrible matchmaking by the UFC. He got fast-tracked, dude. I don't know why we were going to give this guy MVP after like 3 wins in the UFC. Makes no sense, dude. No sense. The next fighter who did get fast-tracked. This one, it's kind of not the UFC's fault. Ikram Aliskerov. Ikram Aliskerov was a good talent, dude. This guy had knockout power at middleweight. And obviously he jumped into a fight on like 2 weeks' notice against Robert Whittaker. It was supposed to be Khamzat Chimaev. Then it got moved to Robert Whittaker. And he got fraud checked, dude. You know, this guy was piecing up Warley Alves, Phil Howells, Mario Sosa. And he looked good in those fights, don't get me wrong. But Robert Whittaker is one of the greatest middleweights of all time. He got chinned by Robert Whittaker. And it's been a while since this guy fought. He's fighting... who's he fighting? Andrew Muniz. Yeah, he's fighting Andrew Muniz next, who used to be a prospect, not really anymore. So, battle of the failed prospects, I guess, coming up. And the final fighter, arguably one of the most notable fraud or fast checkings in the UFC history... Didn't Hill. I don't care. Anybody, lad, I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, this guy. The UFC messed up doing this guy dirty, dude. This guy got a good win over Stephen Thompson, but that was one of his only good wins. Before that, his best win was Donald Cerrone. Everyone beats Donald Cerrone, dude. Conor McGregor beats Donald Cerrone. Justin Gaethje beats Donald Cerrone. Everyone beats Donald Cerrone in a bounce-back fight. And, yeah, we give him Tyron Woodley. People forget that prime Tyron Woodley was actually super good. He lost to Tyron Woodley, submitted him, And then Jorge Masvidal absolutely knocked this guy out. And then ever since then, this guy got fat, moved up to middleweight, and just failed, dude. Darren Till actually really could have been good, I believe. I do believe that. The Gorilla, he had the potential. He just wasn't disciplined, in my opinion. And now he's fat, fighting in, like, what's Misfits? I think that's KSI's boxing league. It sucks. This guy could have been a champion one day. And now he's nothing. Let's be honest, guys. But yeah, man, UFC did Steve Erceg dirty. UFC Mexico was fun. Yeah, man, thank you guys for watching.